Hi, welcome back to another episode of Coldstream Rod Shop. I'm Derek Fraser. I'm going to try and do this video somewhat solo without the camera lady. She's off right now, but we're doing some work here over on the 32 Ford pickup. There's quite a few things left over from last year that we still had to take care of. We did about 200 miles onto it, and as you saw from some of the videos, we had some issues with the broken axle. That was all fixed, and usually when you build a new hot rod, there's a whole bunch of shakedown things you need to do. So just working over a few of the issues and a few of the things we need to complete. So like I said, I'm going to try and do this video by myself and step you through a few of the things. So we'll do the introduction and we'll carry on. Maybe the camera lady will join us later for some of the little clips of what we're doing. But right now, one of the things that we did when we built it, I used a cherry bomb style muffler, and I think with it being underneath the box of the truck there, it turned into a huge amplifier, and it was just too freaking loud, actually to the point where I was wearing earplugs when I drove it. So right now what I'm doing is I'm working on putting a new set of mufflers on it. I got a triple chamber muffler, which is still going to be a little on the rumble side, but nothing like what I was experienced with the cherry bomb styles. So that's what we have on the 29 Roadster pickup, or the 29 sedan outside there. And I'll switch the camera around here and I'll show you what I'm doing right now. So here's the muffler that I bought to put on the truck. Up underneath here, just gonna grab a flashlight and I'll show you what I've done so far. So right now, there's the cherry bomb style muffler that was too loud. And then in the background there, you can see where I've put on one of these triple chamber mufflers. It's, I guess it's a Dynaflow style, white box, Amazon Special Deluxe, whatever you want to call it. Had them on my 29 sedan now for probably 7 or 8 years. It held up quite well. I mean, we don't drive things in the winter, so it's good. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to cut out that muffler, and then I will extend the pipe coming down from the engine because that muffler is longer. So this is the first project. Another thing that we were working on is a temperature sending unit wasn't working. So I bought a new one right down there and put it on. It's a Ford style one, but it's given me high temperature readings, yet the fan on the bottom here, the fan switch is kicking in and everything is kind of running fine. So my suspicion is that that Ford temperature sender is not compatible with the Dolphin gauges. So what I'm going to have to do here is, this is a temperature sending unit that came with the gauge package. So that's the same thing that's on a 29 Model A. I'm going to have to basically get that, and then I'll have to get an adapter like this to fit into the 351 Cleveland engine. The other thing that I was working on, we had headlights onto it. They came with a 3-bar headlight. Wasn't really a big fan. I know it's more traditional style. So what we did, this was what was on it. Kind of hot roddy looking, but really we kind of didn't like it. So again, went on to Amazon and I just bought these headlight buckets, I guess, that I just saw you replace, and we put those on, and then we replaced it with some LED bulbs, which brightens things up quite a bit and actually doesn't draw a lot of current on the electrical system, because sometimes the light switches that you buy, like these generic GM light switches, if you use the regular halogen or incandescent style bulbs, those light switches can actually heat up quite a bit. Another thing I'm going to do is, oh yeah, the rear view mirror. Didn't have a chance to get a really good one, so what I did, I went to, there it is there, sorry. It was a Princess Auto suction cup one, and I have since hopefully you're not moving the camera around too much. Picked up this little 32 Ford, early 30s Ford style mirror, which I am going to locate up there on the top. So I'll show you when I get that done. It's just a pretty straightforward fit. A couple self-tapping screws into the above the windshield there. And there's a couple more things we're going to work on to get this thing on the road. Just kind of working through a couple issues. Like I said, when we build a car, you know, you drive it, run it, fix the things you don't like, and do, you know, add more stuff in as you go. So watch along as we do some more tune-ups and improvements on the 32 Ford pickup. So here we have it now. I have the cherry bomb style muffler cutouts. I placed in the other muffler, the replacement muffler, right there. And I made a measurement up to the pipe a couple minutes ago, which determined I needed another 7.5 inches welded on the pipe coming from the engine. That was exactly the same measurement as the other side, so no real surprise there. So all I got to do now, I'm going to take that piece of pipe, clean it up a little bit. I'm going to put some very high temperature aluminum colored paint onto it, wait for it to dry, and then we'll put it inside the 32 pickup and hopefully later tonight take her for a drive. So work continues. We're going to keep her going here and follow along. So here is the second muffler in. Took a little more work than I had planned. This side, I guess because the exhaust manifold is further back into the frame than what the driver's side was. Actually had to add another piece right up here in order to drop the exhaust a little lower down to the same level as it was for the rest of the car. So have both mufflers in. Both exhaust pipes are modified now. All that's left now is to lower the car down and actually start it up. So hopefully we'll get that going here in a couple seconds, and I'll show you the result. So here it is, muffler's on, truck is running. It's still kind of noisy, but it sounds like a hot rod still. You can see the mufflers there, both of them are in place, both the same height. And we'll crack the throttle here a little bit. So sounding a little better than it did before. Still going to sound like a hot rod. Now we're off to the next things to put the mirror in and maybe fix the thermostat and a few other little odds and ends. Next up on the 32 pickup are the door check straps. On the 32 closed door or closed cab cars, they use a metal style door check like this one right here. So this is one that I bought for a closed cab. I got it from United Pacific. That'll work on the 32.5 window. On the commercial pickups, they had something like this, but it was much shorter and it was reversed. It actually, on the closed cab cars, it went in and it attached to the door, something like that, and it went through a hole in the A-pillar. On the closed cars, on the pickups, what they had was it was reversed. There was like a metal tab right there. It was quite short, and it was a small metal piece, a small piece of rubber that went inside the door. What I decided to do, because I had an extra set, I decided to use these rubber ones like what I have on the Model A pickup. So what that entailed was basically drilling, you can see it there, some holes on the inside of the A-pillar, and then drilling some holes in the door. And what I did is I used some nutserts. Hopefully you can see it right there. Got these from Princess Auto. Now I'm just using the aluminum ones. You can actually go and buy the steel ones that are more robust. And then what I did is I put a little washer, don't have one right here, but I put a washer from in behind so that when I so that when I squeezed that nutsert into it, it had something to squeeze up to from behind against the thin door. So right now I've got both of those installed. I don't know if you can see it over there on the other side or not, but both of them are done. Relatively simple and straightforward. It works pretty good. So I'll show you over here on the Model A with the finished door panels on it. So on the Model A, hopefully you can see it right there. It's a little dark, but we've had these on the Model A for 8 years. Work great. Next up, what I'm going to do is, now that I have the check straps in place for the door, I've got the door panels in the house. We have the vinyl all sewed up to go on the door panels. So now that I know where those check strap holes are, I'll be able to drill the holes in the panels and then cover them up and put them on the car. So we're not done yet. We're going to keep on going here. So here we are today. I upholstered the panel for the passenger door. Right now it's just sitting in place. Basically you had to poke the holes through for the door opening mechanism and then also for the window crank. One thing I had to do was, if you can see here, I had to drill and tap this hole with a 1032 thread so that when, where is the door handle? There is the door handle. And this went in, it would screw in place. But beneath this, there's also, I guess it's called an escutcheon as well. So this fits underneath it. Had to make sure I had enough room for it. Then also for the door handle itself, as you can, I think you can see, I'm doing my best here without the camera lady's assistance. There's a hole into it. So what happens is up here, the escutcheon will go on, and then this door handle goes in place. And then what you do is you push it back and you slide a pin into that hole to hold it. So right now I'm all set up to do that. I'm going to take the door panel off because it's test fit in place. The other thing I did, I put, back up here, I put Dynamat in the door itself to help with the sound deadening. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to put the clips on the back of the door panel. We will put the door panel on, I'll put the door handles on, put the door check strap on, and then keep on working away here. So show you in a couple seconds with the door panel on and all the handles on. Here we are, got the camera lady back videotaping now, so you don't have to put up with my jiggly videotaping and stuff. So I have the door panel on, I have the window crank in place, door latch mechanism working, door check straps on, and the kick panel in. So everything looks really good so far. At least I'm quite happy with it. Now I'm just going to carry on. I'm going to do the same thing on the other side, which is going to take probably a couple hours. As I said, one of the things I had to do was drill and tap the holes in the window crank, and that proved to be quite challenging. Broke quite a few drill bits off and stuff, but we'll do that. And then I've got to put the temperature sending unit on the engine, and that'll probably be it for this video. Here we are. I have the second side, the driver's side, all done. Got the panel on, got the kick panel in. I did have to put the panel on twice. One thing I mentioned in the previous episode of doing the Roadster body was I had to make sure that the holes that these snap into were the right size so you can take the panel in and out. So got to try that, taking the panel out because one of the mechanisms on the inside of the door fell off. It wasn't attached right. I've got bear claw latches on this, so like there's a little rod that goes down and comes back up. It popped off. So I got to try taking the panel on and off and not hurting anything, and it's all good now. So both panels are in. One other thing I mentioned, we did put a new rear view mirror in. I had the plastic suction cup one on the window just to kind of get me through last year in the fall. So we've got this nice little steel one I ordered online. Apparently it's used on some of the Cobras upside down on Roadsters, and it just was for early 1930s Ford the way it was listed through United Pacific. So that's all done. The other thing I said that I had to do was the the temperature sending unit. Because I used a Ford temperature sending unit and I had dolphin gauges, I was getting a really high reading. Like the engine was going 230 or so, which didn't make sense because the fan, which was controlled by an 185 switch, was never turning on. So I dug out the little temperature sending unit from the dolphin gauges and I put that in. It's kind of buried down inside here. I don't know if the camera lady can see it or not, but it just sticks down in the front of the engine. That's in. I took it for a drive. It's reading 180 to 185, so everything is good there. One thing about when I took it for a drive though, with the mufflers I put on, it's improved sound quality. It sounds like a hot rod, but I get a little bit of a drone. I basically have the same exhaust system to some extent as what I have on the Model A, same mufflers, but it's shaped differently on the Model A. This is more straight through, so around 2,000 RPM I get a bit of a drone. What I'm thinking is I might have to put resonators onto it or something. I'm just wondering if anybody out there who has hot rods like this has come across the same problem. If you have, please send me a comment or reach out to me. I'd love to hear what you did to try and solve the problem. Ultimately, I want to work through this problem and have the car hot roddy sounding, but a little less high on a decibel range. So anyways, hopefully you liked the video, please like, share, tag, and subscribe. And by all means, please shoot me a comment. And everybody take care.